This partnership started as a collaboration between the three organizations to try and help strengthen the Dane County Highway Department. So if you can, Miriam, get us started. If you want to tell us a little bit about what the Dane County Highway Department is and what is it that you do, what are you responsible for? Yeah, if you guys want to come up to this side over here. I'll stay in the corner. You guys come over here. You guys are our celebrities today. I'm just the support. So you want to start us off by just telling us a little bit about the Dane County Highway. What is it that the Highway Department is in charge of? What do you do? What are you responsible for?
So our internship is a 30-week, it's 7 months. We introduce you to our training on 5 different subjects that is needed to pass at the end of the internship. And in between, we also introduce you to a bit of the highway, what the highway does. So that means our shop is in Madison, one of the main ones. We have 3 outer shops and 3 outlying shops. There's 8 crews. So during this internship, we train on the 5 subjects that you needed at the end. And sorry, give me a second. Excuse me.
Take your time.
The 8 crews, right? The 8 crews. We have 2 bridges, 2 ground, underground crews, and the rubber seal crew, a guardrail sign that's only dedicated to signs, and also a paint crew. So pretty much for the 6 months, this is what we'll be training on. Our last month, we summarize what we learned. And we also focus on the winter season. So if you guys want to just jump in, talk about what we do in the training.
Well, part of the training involves, like you said, like she mentioned, involves learning everything that we do at the highway. That could be, you're going to be learning how to use chainsaws and other equipment. Heavy equipment also is involved, but that's as you go. You're not going to learn it right away because, of course, you're just learning everything that's going on with the highway. And like she also mentioned, entitled involves a lot of stuff. In one of our main jobs, our main job at the highway is the snowplow during the winter time. Everything that we do, because we work all year round. And everything that we do, we work all year round, and everything that we do after winter time is considered a secondary job. Our main job is, plow the highways. That's our main job, but also, and you're gonna learn other things, but like I said, it's gonna, be little by little, it's gonna take time.
Yeah.
We have different candidates being for the program. We got one. He is that.
Well, I was, technically I was the group after you guys. If you guys have any questions, you guys can ask me. The program is basically just learning a lot of the basics, learning manuals, reading through like what kind of equipment you use, how to use it properly, a lot of safety stuff. Some of the days are boring, you're in the classroom just reading, learning how to do stuff. So that's part of the job.
The other thing we got is we got to go through all trucks on a daily basis. That's one of the main things because safety is our goal. And one of the like he said before, one of the main things for us to do is plowing snow on the roads. That's divided into 2 sections or 2 shifts. It's a 24-hour section that'll be the interstate roads and a 16-hour routes, which is it's a longer shift for the 16 hours, 12 hours shifts. I think you're on a 16-hour right now.
Yeah, I've been on the 16-hour. So the 16-hour takes care of the secondary roads, so all the letter roads, on the west side you got K, P, Q, M, and on the east side you got A, B, B, N, M, N. Those are the 16-hour shifts, so you start at 3 in the morning, and if the weather event continues until late at night, you end at 7. And if it keeps going, you'll have the automatic in, so you'll be back in at 3. And then you'll just keep keep doing that as long as that, the event goes on until your supervisor's discretion until he says, all right, it looks good enough, you guys can go home. And then I've been on the interstate with Miriam, and that's, there's 2 shifts for that, so it's midnight to noon and noon to midnight. Same thing goes. It starts if it starts at night, the PM will get called in, and then you'll get called in at the middle of the night. And sometimes it's not always at midnight. Sometimes, you get called in at 3, 5, depending on how the weather goes.
So you basically just have to be on call available from 12 to 12.
Well, and actually, we are on call 24/7 because, people travel on the highways every, 24/7. So if something happens on the highway, there's a crash or something, if something happens in the middle of the night, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, then, they start calling people to go in and help, we need to, if state troopers, they need help with anything, if they need, the lane closures or something, then, we got a group of people that, so basically, you gotta be available, when you get that call. So no matter what time it could, could, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, sometimes, especially in winter time, when, if nothing is happening, weather-wise, but if something happened, an accident, you gotta get up and, and go. So yeah, and to be honest with you, myself, I've been with the county now I'm going for my 8th year. I was a part of the second ever program. He was part of the first program. And, honestly, I do like it because now we are working for the people. You are working for the people in Dane County. So it kind of gives you also the opportunity to kind of give back to, to the community that you are living in. So, and like I said, sometimes, yeah, it could be boring, like you mentioned, but there are other times where, and we're just trying to be as honest as we can, so we're not going to try to sugarcoat it or anything like that. Just, it is what it is, and, but it's a fine job, to be honest with you, especially when you start, getting to know the people, and you start working with different people, going around different, doing different jobs, because some jobs could be, it could be a week, 2 weeks, depending on the job. But then after that, you go on to something else. So, and I don't know. Like I mentioned, I've been with the county almost 8 years, and I do like what I do.
This program will, you guys will learn through the process about being a flagger, being on a chip sealer. That chip sealing means the maintenance on the roads. You guys will get trained on the routers. Of course, that's around the summer, which includes when it's 80, 85, 90 degrees weather. That's what that. And we work 4 times in the summer.
During the whole summer, we work 4 times.
So that means we work from Monday to Thursday.
6 to 4:30.
So if, for example, we got the first holiday in May, it's a Monday. So we take Monday off, so we only work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that's it. But, like I said, it's not like you said, everything's not beautiful out there. We gotta deal with all kinds of weather.
Yeah.
All kinds of weather, whether it's fog, cold, freezing rain, all kinds of weather. Windy,
Hot. I mean, sometimes the sun will be beating you down in no wind. Yeah, it can be fun. But we also, they also provide, like, hats and stuff like that to cover ourselves, from the sun. So, and also, we do quite a few maintenance on the roads, working on the shoulders, repairing road signs, potholes. I mean, but also we do that through the winter time as well. So if there's nothing going on weather-wise, we go out there and, people call, hey, there's a big pothole on such and such a road, then we go over there and, fill those out. So, but it could be 5 below, so yeah.
One other main thing you gotta keep in mind is this is a very dangerous job.
Yeah.
Like, these are the jobs we do, so we are out in traffic. And traffic these days, they're speeding, distracted, on their phones. So during this training, my job is to really keep you safe but at the same time to expose you to this, because this is a job. Just keep in mind that we will be out there. Like I said, it's not beautiful, but it's worth it. The rewards, the benefits. If you have any more questions, you want details in that, we can give you that information. But, you know, you got your health insurance, good pay, overtime, vacation paid, sick time, you can comp the overtime. What else? Anything I
Holidays.
missed? Holidays paid.
We got 14 holidays paid.
Yeah.
You
Anything
guys also
over.
get federal ones too?
Yes.
They're all federal holidays,
Federal
yeah.
holidays. And if you're working in a holiday, like it's around call 24/7, if you're needed, you'll get double pay or overtime pay.
So is it safe to say that y'all got top of the line benefits?
For the most part, yes. Yeah.
But, you know, because our lives are at risk every day, so,
That's understandable.
you know, so it's a really good job.
Yeah, and like during the first time during the program, and you know, I guess it's very important to mention this because you also got to keep that in mind that during the 6 months that you are in this program, you're not getting any benefits. There's no health benefits. I mean, nothing. Basically, you're going to be on your own during those 6 months. Once you get hired by the county, then you get those right away. You know, but then you still got to go through the 6 months of probation during the with the county. So we're talking about a whole year before you actually become an actual highway worker, basically. Because, you know, you're 6 months in the program and 6 months of probation time with the county.
Okay. Just to clarify, so instead one. So, there are few selected. It's not like you go through internship, you're guaranteed. There is a selection, so we're observing you from day one. We want, the skills can be learned, with practice you get better, but what we want is good working people, like someone we could trust, someone who's accountable, someone that we could count on that's gonna come in at 2 a.m. if you're called. We're looking for willing to learn, put in the effort, you know, we want good working people, you know, because this is customer service to the community, right? We're on call, they're depending on us travelers, you know, your loved ones, yourself if you're driving out there, like we're needed. So if the semi is flipped over, is, you know, covering the lanes, we'll be out there.
And I think you mentioned something that I believe Manny or Alfonso mentioned earlier that I want to highlight, that the whole reason this program came to be was because we wanted people from the community to be working in the highway department. So we came to, the highway department came to us to come to you, our community, to be the ones out there representing our community in this department. For a long time, there wasn't a lot of that representation, right? So this came so that we would be the ones reaping those benefits. You know, we hear about all these great benefits, we hear about the great success stories that come with it, but for some time that wasn't an opportunity for us. And because of this training, because we have excellent trainers, we are now able to have, I think it's 28 or more.
28, 30.
No, how many candidates do we have in the highway department? I think it's 28 to 30.
I think we're close to 25%
Or 20.
of diversity.
Yeah, so now we have a lot more people within the highway department representing us and doing the work for the communities, by the community, for the community. That was the whole mission of this program to begin with. And I also want to highlight, like Miriam said, there is a lot of risk that comes with this program. It's not just about the pay. It's not just about the benefits. It's understanding that those benefits come with sacrifice. It comes with showing up on time. It's being there, willingness to learn, being there to stand up for your community and proudly represent the community that you stand for. So you will be, in a way, role models. We have our role models here. We have people that we look up to, that we bring every year, and we call to them because we know that they represent the person that we want to recruit for this program. You're going to be highlighted. You're going to be, we're going to show you to the community, and you're going to be our pride and joy, and say this person got into the program, and not only did they make it into the internship, they got hired by Dane County, which is a very selective program. Miriam, do you know how many people get hired in general by the county every year?
That could be a 10,000 problem, answer. It varies, it varies.
Yeah, that varies, and like she mentioned, it all depends, on the effort that you put in. It all depends on the effort that you put in because, of course, I don't need to mention Tim Hilton, but, there's some of the people that are, watching, how you go about, doing the job and things like that. Yeah, your performance. I mean, you may not see it, but it could be somebody watching you from a little far away. You never know. Yeah, and yeah, in public. Yeah, that's someone that's watching us every single day. At the public, that there's been times where they call or they send an email to the county and say, hey, I saw this such and such, and and so yeah, there's people out there that also are watching us, no matter what.
Miriam's in charge of the program, which is she's the leader of it. She will give you all the tools, will give you support, give you all the support that you guys need to put everything what you guys need to succeed on for the program. This is going to be my 9th year. I think it was one of the first ones, Oscar, myself, and Craig Weatherby. That's when the program started 9 years ago. It started at the Latino Academy. Like I said, she's in charge of it, and we all here support. Do you have anything else to add?
You guys, if you don't feel like you're fit for the job, doesn't matter your background. You're more than welcome to go and give it a try, give it a shot. You don't know what's going to happen. You can make good money, have a decent job. Give it a shot. It doesn't matter. I never knew anything about road construction. And here I am. I had a different job other than road construction. I don't know. I think it was a forklift operator.
I was working at American Girl in Madison. So yeah. So and
it's a lifetime. Just give it a shot. It's there. It's an opportunity. Take it.
Yeah, and like you was mentioned before, I mean, this is a really, a great opportunity for you, especially the young people. Especially the young people, because, you're starting young, and by the time you retire, I mean, your retirement is going to be, good, to say the least.
It's worth it, but we do require, hard work, commitment, giving your best effort, learning, you're willing to learn, and you could take following directions. That's a bit.
And not to say that, again, getting into the internship doesn't mean you have a foot into the county. This is a training opportunity, right? So we have right now an 82% retention rate. It's not 100. There's some people that sometimes they're just not cut out for it. It might be they can't do the hours, they can't do that commitment. It's either too much hard work or too much sacrifice from their family being away, having to go work on a holiday because, of course, Wisconsin decided to have an ice rain during Christmas. You never know. It could be 60 degrees or it could be negative 10 degrees on any given day. So it does require a lot of sacrifice. So it is being reliable. It is showing up on time. It is following directions. It is having that drive to learn more. And I do want to say this is open to absolutely everyone. Like they were saying, that you don't have to have any background in construction. That's what Miriam's here for. She's going to teach you everything you need to know. The only thing that you need to bring to the table is that drive, that commitment, that passion, and that willingness to learn, and always wanting to do better. I think a big message that that has been interpreted in the past is, well, I'm going to try and learn from the person next to me, right? I'm going to use Miriam as my guide, and whatever Miriam does, that's what I'm going to aim for. I want you guys to aim above that. I want you to be better than Miriam. I want you to eventually take, maybe Miriam wants to go to a different position. You might be the next trainer for all we know, right? That's what Miriam was. She was in the program too. She did everything she could to learn, and now she's the trainer. So we want those opportunities for you. We don't want you to just get into the county. We want you to one day be a crew lead. I know that's sometimes going to be, you might have to wait your turn. There might be a lot of competition. There might not be a lot of opportunities open, but when that time comes, I want you to be the one that they call and say, hey, we want you to be that spot. We want you to fill that spot.
Alright, so to end, like we said, we'll go through this process. At the end, we'll also help you with mock interviews. Latino Academy helps, and Trisha from Urban League is also. So we'll help you with that. We're with you along the way. I don't know what to say. It's a great opportunity. Think about it. If you're, be realistic. If there's something you could really do and you're committed to it, I mean, by all means, we're here to help you. Let us know what else, how we can guide you. You have our contact information. There's some sheets in the back of information. We'll also be here around if you want to ask questions to any of us.
So the recruitment will be held by us and the Urban League. So if you are an Urban League member, you're more than welcome to contact us or the Urban League. We're both tied to this program, so and either one of us would be able to point you in the right direction. I would encourage you, if you don't have a resume, let's get a resume started. You can talk to us if you just need to make some updates, or if you don't have a resume at all, we can definitely help you with that resume. But we are going to have that conversation about, well, is this the right program for you? The same thing goes for all of the programs that we do, right? This at the end, and as earlier slide mentioned it, but we actually didn't verbally say it. There's not a lot of spots open, so we have a large group here. Not all of you are going to be selected. We might get 3-4 candidates into this program this year. So out of the 30 people that are here, only 4 of you are going to be chosen for this program. So there are a lot of, there is going to be a screening process to identify who can go on to that interview process. We'll try and interview as many people as we can, but there is a minimum requirement of having your commercial learner's permit. Ideally, you will have your commercial driver's license already by the time you interview, but if you have your learner's permit, we will also consider that as well, because you are going to be, like Alfonso said, a big part of the job with Dane County is snow plowing, and you need a commercial driver's license to do that job. And right now, the challenge is if you don't have your commercial driver's license there, you won't be able to do, I would say, the primary function of the job. So it is very important for you to, if you don't have your at least your commercial learner's permit, to obtain that before the interviews. The interviews will be in April. I don't know an exact date. We have to coordinate the dates, but first we need to get the pool of candidates to see how much time we're going to need for interviews. And once we have the interview set up, from the ones that interview, we'll select the ones that have been identified by the panel to be a best fit for this internship program. So it's not just a matter of having that interest, right, in making more money, because obviously that's why we're here. Everybody wants to have financial stability. We want to be able to have benefits, but it's also, is this a good fit for the kind of work that you want to do? Do you want to be this is construction work, it is road construction, and it is work that it is an essential role, right? You are going to be essential workers. So rain or snow, tornado, fire, you're working. You're going to be the one called in for duty. So that is something you're going to have to take into account before you commit for this program. So we will also help with mock interviews, like Miriam said. So if you need some practice interviewing, if you haven't interviewed in a while, there's I'm sure some of you have had the same job potentially for the last 10 years, and you haven't done an interview in a long time, then it would be worth refreshing those interview skills. We can definitely help you with that as well. And the internship, I believe, will be starting in May 5th, right? May 5th. So by May 5th, we'll already have the candidates. We'll have the candidates selected, and you'll be getting the internship started. 30 weeks, so that would end a little after Thanksgiving, I'm guessing? Around the time of Thanksgiving. And from there, again, this isn't a shoe-in internship, right? You would have learned everything you needed to learn in those 30 weeks. That does not mean you're going to get hired by the Dane County Highway Department. You'll have to interview again to see whether or not you make the cut to stay as a permanent employee. So like we were mentioning earlier, during those 30 weeks, you won't have health insurance, you won't have benefits, you won't have PTO. You are expected to be committed to the program 100%, being there throughout the 30 weeks. After those 30 weeks, you'll have a chance to interview, and if everything goes as we expect, as we hope, then, and again, we'll support you as much as we can along the way, you have an opportunity to be hired by Dane County Highway permanently. And well, of course, given you'll have your 6-month probation within the department as well, but you will actually be an employee of Dane County Highway.
Those 30 weeks, they're very important for all the candidates, because you guys gonna get all the information you guys gonna need. There's a test to be hired for the county. Also gonna be the interview, and the test is very important, which is, it gets done by is that state, right, Tim? State guy who does that testing. So it's very important for you guys to show up those 30 weeks, because if you guys miss a day or 2 days, not that it's gonna count against you guys, but you guys gonna be missing some very important information. On a daily basis, she's gonna be teaching you different things. And we are here to support her as well on the job sites. You guys gonna see different faces out there, it's like 25, 30 of us out there. But like I said, it's very important for you guys to follow directions and be at work on time. If you guys have planned something before, if you guys get picked to be one of the candidates, if you got something planned ahead already, let's say in May, June, please let these guys know so they can schedule it, so you guys don't get in trouble for it. But it's very important to be there those 30 weeks because of the testing you're going to provide for the county.
On top of the time, I know I've noticed a theme of commitment to time, right? We have to be there, we have to be present. What are other potential sacrifices or challenges that we might have to do as an intern? I know, for example, if I can give an example, I know the cell phone usage is very limited in the transportation industry. So not just with just with Dane County Highway, but anything related to heavy machinery, to operating vehicles, it's almost always a no zone for cell phones. And my understanding is the same thing with Dane County.
Yes, definitely. Yep. So we're definitely putting down a rule, just using your cell phones in your break times and lunchtime, because like you said, it's a very important job, and there's so many risks that is no benefit to anyone for you to be distracted on your phone. Other sacrifices, what else could we say? There's any ideas? The time, I mean, just you have to be available, you're on call. Whatever time you are called, you're expected to be there.
Yeah, I guess also one of the biggest sacrifices, especially if you have little kids, if you have family, the biggest sacrifice that you might gonna end up missing some of your kids' events in school, because depending on the job that is gonna be happening that day, or during the winter time, you may not gonna be around for the holidays, because if it snows, we gotta be out there. So yeah, those are some of the, I guess one of the biggest sacrifices that you gotta keep in mind, that there's gonna be times where you're not gonna be there, and so that's something to keep in mind, that you might gonna end up missing some of the stuff of your kids, family,
But, some encouragement, if you have at least a person of support, somebody you can lean on for those times. I did it as a single mother, I have my little one here. I started when he was 4, so I was able to do it throughout. And 4 years ago, winters were a lot more demanding, and it was every day, sometimes 4 days consistently of being here at midnight and 16-hour shifts. So I feel like if you have the drive, and this is something that personally I needed to do, and I wanted it for my family to support, have more stability, but there is a big sacrifice for that. So just keep that in mind.
We are very limited to get vacations on the winter months. Like you said, that's our first and main job, keep votes clean for public. So our family could be celebrating Christmas, we have to be out there plowing. New Year's, family celebrating, we still gotta be out there if it's snowing. So it's a lot of sacrifice for the job as well, keep that in mind as well.
You gotta be cautious, when you're driving, so you gotta keep that in mind. Having a family event is one thing that you gotta keep in mind. You're gonna be driving a few hours or whatnot, so.
A lot of coffee. You're gonna be going a lot of coffee.
You gotta rest.
Yeah, a lot of coffee.
Keep away from certain things.
Yeah.
You guys have any questions?
buy the biggest thermos you need.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say something quick if I can.
Yeah, come on up.
So,
Yeah.
Come on up, Tim.
this is our
This is our
supervisor.
supervisor from,
I'm not a public speaker, so I'll just kind of go off the cuff here. My name's Tim Pelton. I'm the Deputy Highway Commissioner of Operations. Welcome, everybody. But just touching on a few things that my employees here, our team, have touched on, that it's a very safety conscious job. You have to be safe out there. We want everybody on their toes at all times. That's my number one thing, is safety in my book. I tell, well, all 5 of them here standing can attest to it, that they've heard me say, I don't care if you've been here for 2 minutes or 22 years, safety's number one. If it doesn't look right, shut it down. Touching base on winter maintenance, we have about 3,000 lane miles we maintain in Dane County. We have 62 plow trucks on the road when it snows. We can bring out about another 12 pieces of equipment, that from motor graders to things like that. I've worked 24, 48 hours straight. It's part of my job to make sure that all of my employees are, doing their job. Management-wise, I started in 2005 as a highway worker at the highway department, and I've worked my way all the way up to basically number 2. 5 supervisors that we have, out of the 5 supervisors on my team, 4 of them have started as highway workers. 1 came from Wisconsin B&R, so there is room for improvement. All of our crew leaders are promoted from within. We have 8 crews. So there is room for movement, as I think Jorge was talking about, maybe Miriam, how she moved up to be the trainer, and so there is movement. When you were asking about positions, sometimes it depends how many retirements we have in a year and just the moving pieces. There's 112 road employees that work at the highway department. We have 158 employees total just at the highway department working there. So it's a big department, a lot of moving pieces. If you have any questions for me, I'll be willing to answer them as good as I can, but I really appreciate the Latino Academy and the Urban League for the program. I have not been involved too much in the last 9 years now with my new promotion and my new commissioner that's here. We will be more involved with the program and making sure things move smoothly. So thank you, everybody.
You want to come up, Clement? He's hiding in the back. You're hiding.
I did it off the cuffs. And there's no media cameras here.
Hello, everyone. And I first of all thank you all for coming. I'm just coming from a 2 hours drive right now. I was in another meeting where I really wanted to talk to all of you. And what I want to tell all of you is a little bit different from what all these guys have been telling you. I'm telling you, what I want to tell you is how to succeed. Because there's a big mistake about getting the job and keeping the job. So getting the job is the first thing, and this is what all of them here will need to do. But keeping the job is the attitude, is the drive, is the determination. I say it with all humility, I know what it means because I've been one of you before. I started by grilling chicken in the farmer's market. Grilling chicken, we didn't have an opportunity. We didn't have this kind of opportunity. Granted, I had a degree in my pocket. Nobody said that I had a degree in my pocket, but I started by grilling chicken with a master's degree in structural engineering. I'm not saying that because I want to be proud. I'm saying that because I want you to understand what it means by humility. Humility is what takes you as high. See, Mariam, she's climbing very fast. You can do the same. But you can also come in, and within a few months, you're out. And then all this work you've been doing, and the effort, it's a tough thing to do. It's not easy. And the reason I'm saying is because you guys are young. You have all the way ahead of you. So the most important thing, keep your brain Keep your brain very active, be calm, listen, and learn the right thing. There will be so many things for you to learn. Some of them are wrong, but that decision is yours. I'm telling you right now, because when you find yourself there, you easily make those wrong choices. And those wrong choices will send you out through the door. And believe in yourself, because I'm very confident that all of you here are capable and you can do it. Oh yes, you come with stress. There's no problem with that. Then please, I don't know whether I should say I'm begging you. You have to be humble. Humility is the key. You learn and progress. The other thing, there was one question I was asked some time back by okay. He asked me, how can you climb? How can you progress when you get in? Because he also wants you that when you get in, you progress. You go up the ladder. Number one, seniority counts. There is no way you come in today and I ask you to supervise. It's not possible. Right? So, but remember, there is still that opportunity to climb. And the way for you to climb is to learn and make yourself available and go the extra mile. And then, team, you say, that's my guy. And there are so many avenues. If you want us to help, we can help you grow. So seniority counts, yes, put in the years, but for you to climb higher, you will also need that humility. So ladies and gentlemen, please work hard, and if you happen to find yourself in there, you can ask all of them here. I have an open door policy. I listen to everybody. But at the same time, I do not tolerate complacency. So if you come to me for help, I will be ready to help. But the moment I see that you're taking it for granted, you're done. But I'm always ready to help. And so are all of these people here. So please, I just wanted to give you that message because they will tell you how to get in, but they will not tell you how to stay in, and that's what I'm doing. So I wish you all good luck, and hopefully some of you will be hanging out with me in a few months. Thank you.
Thank you, Clement. Yeah, if you guys want to take a seat here. So I just want to quickly, before we wrap up here, I want to talk about the CDL requirement because I'm sure, I recognize a lot of faces here, but there's a lot of new faces too. I don't know how many of you already have a CDL license, how many of you do not. So for those of you that do not have your CDL, we do have a commercial driver's license program. So if you're new to working with Latino Academy or with the Urban League, we do have a commercial driver's license program. And there is a new class starting March 17th. I will say there are very limited spots, so I can't, again, same thing goes for, as we mentioned, for the county, it's the same for the commercial driver's license program. Not everyone's going to be able to join. We can do at most maybe 5. Sometimes we've done 6 students at one time, but that's usually pushing it. We generally try and stay around the 4 or 5 per class range. So I do have a couple spots left. So if you have your commercial learner's permit, for those that already have your permit, you may be eligible to start in this March 17th class. It will end first, assuming we start at the right time, then the end date would be May 9th. So it's actually a week into the internship, but we'll figure it out. We'll find a way. If you're close to graduating, we'll see if we can maybe give you some extra hours or something during the day or the afternoon to get you over that hump and get you into the program. I know when they start training, I think they're doing Monday through Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe it might just be finishing that last week, just doing a couple Fridays to get your commercial driver's license. We'll work with you. We'll try and do our best to get you over that last hump. But it would be ideal for you to just come into the training program with your commercial driver's license. Because as I mentioned, you could come in with your learner's permit. The learner's permit, that is, well, before I jump in, let me talk about what the requirements are for the commercial driver's license, because there are very specific requirements. I know we have a large demographic here. We have people from everywhere. So I do want to make sure that we cover very specific things here. You do have to be at least, first of all, you have to be at least 18 years of age or older, which I think, I don't want to assume too much, but I'm assuming everybody here is over 18. You do also have to provide specific legal presence documents. And this doesn't apply just to our immigrant community. It also applies for citizens here that just don't have a birth certificate. I've run into it many times with our students that are trying to enroll in the commercial driver's license program. They do everything. They've studied. They've taken the tests, but at the time that they show up to the DMV, they realize, oh, I need my birth certificate. It's not enough just showing my driver's license. If you have the real ID, I believe that may actually be valid as well. But for those that don't have the real ID, you will want to get your birth certificate and have it handy, because they will ask for that at the DMV. And Henry, I don't know if you're still here. No. He would be able to confirm the I-9 information a little more specifically. But you will have to have that proof of legal presence. For those of you that are from outside of the U.S., that are not citizens, you do have to have specific proof of legal presence. And again, we won't talk about that, because there's a lot of different rules, right? Depending on if you, for example, I didn't know this, DACA recipients, they cannot get their commercial driver's license. So if you're a DACA recipient, you unfortunately would not be able to get your commercial driver's license. People from Mexico, there's different rules for people from Mexico and Canada. So it is very different depending on the country. So we don't like to be that gatekeepers for that. I always just say, if you aren't sure, if you're not a citizen or a permanent resident, go to the DMV and ask them for what specifically you need to be able to present, because the DMV is going to be the one. We don't issue your driver's license. We don't issue your permits. You have to go to the DMV to get that. And if I give you the wrong information, and then you think you're going to be eligible, you do all the work, and then you show up to the DMV, it turns out you're not, it's gonna hurt both of us. It's gonna hurt me for giving you the wrong information. So I'd rather, if you're not sure, go to the DMV, and they'll be able to confirm whether or not you have the proper documentation to get your commercial driver's license. You do also have to speak a certain level of English. We have English placement tests that will help us determine that. Again, same thing goes for this that we mentioned for the proof of legal presence. I don't want to be the one that says, well, talk to me in English, and hablas medio mucho, no? I don't want to be that person that determines whether or not you have that English proficiency. So we have a proficiency test that is used for our English classes. We have English classes as well, ESL classes. So we use that as our base to determine what is your level, and then we've through trial and error found that intermittent level that is required to succeed in this program. So if you are English language learner, if English is your second language, you may have to take that placement test to determine if it's enough, or if it might be best for you to take an English class. If you're understanding everything I'm saying right now, then you're probably fine. I would say that's not a problem. You also have to pass a DOT physical. You have to get your FedMed card. For those of you that have worked in transportation, it's not only for commercial driving. Most driving jobs will require you to have your DOT physical. Those are generally valid for 2 years. If you have certain health conditions, you might have to renew it every year, but for the most part, you get it for 2 years. If you're healthy, you can do it for 2 years. You are also going to have to confirm that you are not subject to disqualification. So what that means is that certain infractions on your driving record can prevent you from getting your commercial driver's license. The most common one are the OWIs or the DUIs. If you have 2 or more DUIs or OWIs, you cannot get your CDL. There are other life-banning infractions that would prevent you from getting your commercial driver's license, but that's the more common one. Again, if you have something on your driving record and you're not sure if that'll disqualify you, there is a form online where you can see all of this disqualifications, but honestly it's very hard to interpret. Again, I just say call the DMV, tell them what you have, and they'll be able to confirm whether or not you are eligible. And Trista, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I don't know if you have the information for the expungement clinic.
Yeah, I was just looking it up, sorry. So Urban League does run an expungement clinic monthly. We have one coming up next week on the 12th, but right now it's full. But if you go onto our Urban League website, you can, if you go to www.ulgm/expungement, it'll take you straight to the page to register. You can put yourself on the wait list, and then every single time we host a clinic, which we try to do once a month, we end up with cancellations and end up calling people off that wait list. So put yourself on the wait list if you're interested. We don't have a date for our April clinic just yet, but like I said, we try to host clinics every month. Not only can we help with expunging things off records, that's kind of like the biggest thing that they can do. They can also just help clear records, like if you have had like police contacts that led to no arrest or nothing happening, those end up on your record, and it's nice to get those cleared off so you have an officially clean slate. And they can help do that type of stuff as well. And they can help with other things as well. We've helped facilitate people getting pardons. So our expungement clinics are just a great resource, free advice from the law clinic and our group of lawyers who does this service, and it's totally free. So if you've ever had any type of police contact, if you have a criminal background that you believe is eligible for expungement, please get yourself on that wait list and get signed up for either this coming clinic or any of our clinics in the future.
Thank you, Trista. And lastly, to participate in our CDL training program, you do have to, again, same as the Dane County Highway Department, you do have to have your commercial learner's permit by the time we start class. So that is a very important requirement. We do not currently have a class for the permit, but in the back room, I do have a couple flyers that you can take in the back of the room. There's some flyers where you can scan the QR code, it'll take you to the manual, and it also specifies which sections in the book you have to study. Because it is a pretty big manual, but you don't have to learn everything. In the manual, it'll have information about passenger buses, tankers, doubles, and triples. It'll have all of that. You don't waste your time doing that. All you need to focus on are the sections 1, 2, and 3 for the general knowledge test, section 5 for the air brakes test, and section 6 for the combination vehicles. And again, that's on the flyer, so don't worry about memorizing this, writing this down. It's on there. Take those if you don't have your learner's permit yet, and start studying if you want both. If you want to get your CDL, let's say you don't want to do the county, but you want to get into the transportation industry, you want to drive trucks, either way, you're going to need to get your permit. So whether it's for the county or for our CDL program alone, you're going to have to get your permit. And if you want to get into this March 17th class, you will need it before then. If you want to get into the county, again, the start date is May 5th, but you will have to have it by the time we interview, and that'll be sometime maybe April 15th, around that date, right before we do the internship. Our training center, it's not actually located here in Madison for the CDL training. We are located in Lake Mills. So our main office is here, so we do a lot of the resource, providing information from our local office here. But the actual hands-on training, the trucks, everything our range is what we call it, is located in Lake Mills, which is about half an hour away from here. I think Google says 33 minutes. So that is something else that we have to take into consideration for those of you that want to go into our program. It's not just, do I meet the requirements, do I have a goal to work in the transportation industry, can I make it to class every day? We have that same commitment requirement that the county has for our CDL training program. It is Monday through Friday, so we do expect that you somehow make the drive to Lake Mills and back every day, and that's, again, half an hour there, half an hour back. It is a big commitment. For those of you that live in the east side, it might be a little shorter of a drive, but that is currently where our CDL training is held. I do encourage all of you that if you are in the program, I always tell the classes nobody does it. If you want to carpool, if you can carpool, better. That way it's a lot less strain on an individual. You can take turns driving. So far, nobody's taken me up on it. But that is something I highly encourage for those of you that have to go all the way to Lake Mills to try and have one less strain on your pocket. So again, our tentative enrollment dates right now, and so far everything is going according to schedule. The snow hasn't really messed things up too much, so we're still on track to start March 17th, and the end date would be May 9th. We have 2 class times right now. We have 8 to 12 and 1 to 5. So the 8 to 12 class has worked very well for those of you that work third shift. A lot of students take that choice because they just go straight from work to class, go home, maybe have a meal, takes a couple hours of sleep, and then go back to work. The 1 to 5 class has worked very well for those that, and actually the 8 to 12 also works very well for the second shift, right? It's either second shift or third shift. The second shifters, of course, they go to class, then go to work right after class. The 1 to 5 class has been a little bit more in the middle, because if you work first shift, you're usually starting around 7 or 8, and it's kind of hard to get off at 12 to go over to Lake Mills at 1. But if you work third shift, that's also going to be a good option for you, because then you can work your third shift job, go home, sleep a little bit, maybe have a meal, and then go to class at 1. Another option that a lot of people have done is they do a lot of those the app work, right? They do Uber, they do Grubhub, so they work around their class schedule. So that's also been very successful for a lot of our candidates. And again, this is a driving rule, so that oftentimes aligns very well with what they want to do. But we do ask that we have that commitment to the schedule. It is Monday through Friday, and so and I understand that it is a big sacrifice. So that's why, same as what we've said with the county, is this something that, you know, in the long run is going to pay off? But can you do that right now? I know the time the time is coming up soon, so March 17th isn't a lot of time. So it might just not be the right time for you, right? Maybe it is something that you want to do, but it might just not be right now. I've had a lot of candidates that I say, hey, you know what? It doesn't look like we're in the same level right now. Let's just let you study for your permit, because maybe it might take you a little longer than a week or 2 to get your permit. So just focus on that right now. Let's not even worry about the dates. That's what I always say. Don't even worry about the start date. Let's focus on goal number 1. Let's get you your permit. Once you have your permit, then let's talk again and figure out, okay, now from here, what's the next date? What's coming up? And then we can talk about, okay, all that works, or actually I have a vacation coming up during that week and I'm going to be gone. Let's work around that and find what's best for you. So we're always going to work with you. It's almost never a no when it comes to our CDL program. It's just potentially a not right now. It's usually what it is. Any questions? I think we did perfect. 6:01. Wow. 1 minute. Yeah.
Because I've already got my COP. Like, is there any way that we can enroll or, sign up for the program?
For the CDL or?
CDL.
Yeah, so actually in the back, I forgot to mention, I also have a separate flyer, and it's the same flyer for both. If you're interested in the Dane County Highway Department or the CDL program, you can take the flyer or just go on our website. Everybody that checked in the front, you're going to get a follow-up email. We'll follow up with you to just check in and see what your goals are. You can always reach out to us through email as well once we reach out to you. But the easiest way for us to know what you want is there's a QR code, just scan the QR code and select the program that you want. You'll have the option to choose either commercial driver's license or Dane County. Could be one or both. If you want to do Dane County, it might still also be the CDL, but just pick the one that you're most interested in first, and then we can follow up with you to discuss that. Anything?
The website for the Latino Academy is down because we are upgrading. So if you go in there and you see that it's down, it's gonna come up probably tomorrow or Monday. So that's why, just in case you see it, we are upgrading.
Yeah, and I made sure the QR code goes to a working link. So if you try and find us on our website, like Nidia said, thank you for mentioning that. You won't be able to find it, but if you use the QR code, it will take you to where you need to go. Okay? Any other questions?
The times for the CDL classes that you have, are they always at those times?
Those are our staple hours. Sometimes we might have another class in the afternoon, but the staple classes are 8 to 12 and 1 to 5. Yeah. Okay.
I got you.
If somebody already has a CDL, can this training help them to get the A?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so as part of the entry-level driver training requirements, you do have to go through this training to get your CDL or upgrade from a Class B to a Class A. So even if you already have your Class B license, it's an excellent question, you do still have to take the training to upgrade or add endorsements as well. So for any of you that might have your Class B, and actually, thank you for reminding me, for the county, you can be considered for employment with your Class B, but you will have to get your Class A within 6 months, I believe, of employment. So if you already have your Class B license, that's actually going to be enough for you to get hired. Well, if you are made an offer to get into the county, but you will still need to get your Class A within 6 months of employment. Thank you for asking that. There was another question over here. Darian?
Yeah, does your driver record, if you have your CDLs, impact employment opportunity?
With Dane County?
Yeah.
Do we, Tim? Yeah, so if they have, how in-depth do you go into their driving record history for
As long as it's valid, that's what we look at. You have to have a valid CDL and a valid Class B or regular motor vehicle.
Great question. I remember you asked me a good question when we were talking. Do you want to bring it up? Yeah.
What question was that?
So you asked me, and I told you to ask it when we came here. You asked me about the winter work. So I know they talked a lot about the plowing during the winter, but your question was how much of your job during the winter is actually spent outside in the cold. And I know you touched on it a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, we work outside every day, regardless, unless if it's, if it's a rainy day, like, it's gonna be raining all day, then we might end up, being in the shop. But we also do go out in case something happens. Also during the winter time, if there's nothing going on weather-wise, but it's extremely cold, we only go out as needed, I guess,
Okay, yeah, that's right. I was wondering if this was an all-day thing. You remember the guy I told you I took the class with, right here? I was telling you about he was outside all day?
Mm-hmm.
Because you was doing solar panels, right?
Solar panels.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's what I was asking, is it like that?
Yeah.
Because he was outside all day.
So you're not going to be outside for 8 hours straight, is what he's asking. You might go out there, do a quick work.
Yeah, for the most part, yes. Yeah. I mean, during the summertime, yeah, we are outside every single day, doing work. Like I said, during the winter time, it's only if it's extremely cold, then we go as needed. We go out as needed, and also on like rainy days, we also go maybe as needed. But anything else beyond that, we are outside every single day.
Yeah, I didn't mind that being outside, especially in the summertime. I was just talking about, is it an 8 to 10 day outside in 10 below type weather?
Well, there are jobs where that, like I said, if it's extremely cold, there are jobs that if we need to go out, we'll go out. But then after we're done with that job, then we go back to the shop.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
That's not what, I was thinking it was gonna be a whole 10-hour day outside.
And an extremely cold temperature?
But good question, because I didn't know the answer, so now we know. Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but just for everybody, can we just quickly review the steps? So if you're interested in the highway program and you are, no matter where you're at with your CDL or license, what steps everybody should take from this moment forward to stay in the loop and be considered for the program, because you have to be screened by either Urban League or Latino Academy first, and then once you've gone through our one-on-one screening, then you will, if you make it past that point, you will get signed up for an interview, which will be conducted by Urban League, Latino Academy, and Dane County. And then after that interview is complete, we will choose the candidates that we're going to offer the internship to. And then you have to kind of pass a little bit of a background check for the county, because you actually become a county employee, a limited term employee for the county at that time. So you have to be all ready to go by the time those interviews take place to get into the position. So you need to have your license together, your CDL has to be either well, you at least have to have a permit to start the training program. So that has to be completed. And so from this point forward, you've got a lot of steps to take care of, so you need to make sure that you stay in contact with either myself or Jorge or Henry.
Well, actually,
People should stay in contact with you or me from this point forward.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, just so you guys know, like, we're not gonna chase you guys down to do the internship. You have to stay on top of all those steps that need to take place and make sure you're checking them all off, that you get that screening interview completed, that you get the actual interview for the internship completed, and that you have your documents and CDL and license in good standing, and you're able to make that leap should we decide that you would be in the internship program. It's a little bit of a complicated process. Part of that is because we want to see if you really want to do it. So, you want to make sure you're ready to keep the ball rolling.
So this is the flyer in the back. If you are interested in pursuing, again, whether it's the Dane County Highway internship or just your CDL to get into a different employment opportunity, scan the QR code, and this will take you to our website and select one of the two programs, and then we can follow up to go through this process like Trish laid out.
Can we select both?
And yeah, if one or the other, either way we'll follow up with you, and it'll just give me which one's more important for you. So if you for sure want to do the Dane County, I would say select Dane County. But if you just want to start with your CDL and then you're still kind of on the fence about the county, but you for sure want your CDL for another employment opportunity in the transportation industry, then I would select that one instead. So we know where to focus our attention in.
Jorge, is there a preference on there, like if they want to be screened through Urban League process or want to be screened through Latino Academy, just in case people do have a preference?
Not currently, but we can always coordinate that, and when we follow up with them, we can.
Okay, yeah, I just think, just for people's preference, of course, we don't really care.
And if not, you might just have to call Trista and say, I don't want to talk to Jorge.
You don't have to say that.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Oh, and Miriam, please.
Oh, so just I think we mentioned this, with the internship employee starting rate is $27.51. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to know that. And if you're hired, starting wage will be $31.81.
And that's not including the time and a half for overtime and holidays. All right, thank you, everyone.